Hi, I'm Alyson, and I'm the crocheter.
And I'm Vivian, the knitter, and you're listening to Keep Calm and Carry Yarn.
Thank you for joining us for episode 12 of Keep Calm and Carry Yarn, a knitting and crocheting podcast brought to you from me, Alyson, and my mom, Vivian. I'm coming at you from Edinburgh, Scotland, and my mom is recording from her home in New Hampshire.
Hello, everybody. Hello, sweetie.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
So, this is a KCACY first. This is take 2 for recording.
Yeah, hopefully my computer won't... I don't know what it did yesterday. It just stopped. So hopefully it won't do that this time, and we can record a whole episode without having to stop.
Yeah. But we didn't get too far. We didn't, completely finish recording or anything. We only got about half an hour in.
That's including all this stuff in the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
So not bad at all.
So we just want to say thank you to a couple Ravelry users. First is Sarah, who is S.E. Bauer on Ravelry, and she said hi on the welcome thread. Secondly is Simon, who's Maggie Vienna on Ravelry, and she's said hi before, but she's commented on the thread that we have for questions, comments, and concerns. Not that we've ever gotten any concerns, but she suggested that we add separate threads on the Ravelry group for each new episode, so that people can comment with episode-specific stuff, which I think is a good idea because, obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just say hi in the YouTube comments, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you should say hi in the YouTube comments. But if you're listening to the audio-only version or what have you, you can say hi in the Ravelry bit. And she was really nice. She said please to post new episodes so that she can comment and thank us for every new one.
That was very nice. If we must.
But yeah, no, that was a very good suggestion. So we'll start that with this episode. And then also, I happen to be on our iTunes page, and I noticed that we have an iTunes review.
We did. Our first ever.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been sitting there. Probably not too long, considering we've not been podcasting for that long. So thanks to Abbykins on iTunes. I'm just going to read the whole review because I'm just so excited. She said, I love this podcast. The interactions and flow have grown since they started. I love hearing the difference between crochet and knitting. It's good to hear that we've been improving in the last, from episode 1 to episode 12. Good. Yeah, good to know that she's maybe learning some things about the differences. Don't know if she's a knitter or a crocheter. Yeah, so if anyone else is wanting to leave us a review on iTunes, we wouldn't stop you.
Yeah, that would be great if you could do that.
Uh-huh. We have our list of BuzzFeed quizzes that we tend to choose from. Well, no, we have a trawl through BuzzFeed and then save links when we find good ones. I think you found this one. I don't know how long ago, but it's which Jane Austen hero is your soulmate? So who's your soulmate?
I got Mr. Edward Ferrars.
And he's from?
He's from Sense and Sensibility. He is Eleanor's beau. It says, shy and sweet, Edward can give you a simple, happy life. You can count on him to do the right thing, even if it's not always what he wants to do. While you might face hurdles on your road to happily ever after, it will all work out in the end. That's good.
But does he sound like he could be your soulmate?
Well, I mean, Edward Ferrars was kind of a boob when he kind of... But it all turned out in the end. It turned out well in the end. So, yeah, I guess he's a good guy.
So,
who'd you get?
I hit the jackpot, and I got Mr. Fitzwilliam Darcy. It says, congrats, you nabbed every woman's dream man. He's handsome, smart, kind, and rich. Of course, he doesn't always say the right thing, but boy, does he make up for it in the grand gesture stakes. He would also win in a wet t-shirt contest, hands down.
Which Darcy did they use?
Who do you think? After the wet t-shirt contest comment.
Colin Firth. Colin, is that his name? Colin
Firth. Yeah, Firth.
I'm getting my Collinses mixed up.
Yeah, Colin Firth.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, he will always be my first Mr. Darcy.
Your first what?
Mr. Darcy.
Colin Firth is your first Mr. Darcy.
Yes. Yeah. There's been, there's been others along the road, but he will always be my first.
I'm looking at some of the questions. One of them was to pick a home, and the second option is definitely the Downton Abbey house.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but I didn't pick that one.
I didn't pick that either.
The one to the right.
I picked the little
okay.
cottage. That's probably why I got Edward Ferrars.
Well, I picked not the grandest house, but the next grandest house. It's like the stone.
Mr. Darcy's house.
Estate house. Yeah. Well, no, I feel like Mr. Darcy's house is the Downton Abbey house.
Probably. No, that would be his aunt's house, and his house would be the one next to it.
Maybe. I don't know. Right. And then the funniest question was, pick a pair of breeches.
That was the first question. No, that wasn't the first question.
No, it was the second question. I feel like it sounds funnier than it is. None of them are awkward. It's just a bunch of crotch shots, but they're perfectly safe for work crotch shots. There are no extra bulges.
Well, listen, but that's not to say there aren't any bulges at all.
Yeah, I picked a pair of dark ones. I didn't really like the white ones.
I picked the same one. There's two dark ones.
Yeah,
the one without the jacket, holding the guy holding a stick.
That's the one we picked.
I wonder which ones they are. I mean, it would have been nice if
the
reveal showed us which crotch we should.
Well, they might not be specifically from Jane Austen movies.
They probably are.
Look at that.
Look at the
but
clothes.
They could just be like other period piece shows.
I suppose so.
Mr. Darcy for me.
You lucky dog. On to our next segment.
Yes, whips. So because we recorded yesterday, but didn't actually record, and I realized yesterday that I haven't really done much, I quickly started a new whip. So I've got 2 whips to talk about, but no FOs. So the first one that I have is not the one that I just started. The first one I have is the one that I had yesterday as well. And that's using the yarn that I got from Hawaii. So it was a silk, merino, and flax mix. No, like, actual specific composition. But I emailed the woman who made the yarn. She had a little business card with her email and her phone number. And that was pretty much it. So I emailed her and she got back to me. So first off, she does have a Facebook page. She's Big Island Fibers on Facebook. I think that's the only sort of online presence that she has. And when you go on, you can see some of the other yarns that she sells. Some of it's hand-dyed. This particular one that I got is not hand-dyed. So it's like a yellow and a cream color. And so the yellow she bought, so the yellow is the silk, and it's called butter silk. And I think that's like the product name, which is produced by a company called Blue Barn Fiber. And it's a mix of sari silk fiber, cultivated silk, mulberry silk, Angelina fiber, sparkle silk, muga silk, tussa silk, and pulled silk.
I didn't realize there was that many variations of silk.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's like recycled silks or what, or if they just use that mix of silk to keep it cheaper. I don't know, like sari silk fiber. I don't know if that means something else, but it almost sounds like recycled sari fabric.
Sari fabric?
Yeah, like the way they worded it out, that's what it sounds like, but maybe that's not what that means. That's the yellow bits that's in it, and then the merino and the flax is undyed, so most of the yarn is the undyed bits. And she hand blends the fiber. You can definitely tell it's hand spun because it's really twisty. How did you call that before? When it twists on itself?
Thick and thin?
Yes, thick and thin, but or did you just say it twists on itself?
It just twists on itself.
Yeah, so there's like the parts where it's really skinny and it twists on itself. And like I didn't really know how to handle that. I don't know is there like a good way to handle that?
I have no idea. I've used some Noro yarn that used to do that all the time, and I would just like hold it and let it spin out.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I let it spin out in some places where it was really twisty. I left a couple places in where it's really twisty. One in particular, so the V of the stitch, one side is like all knobbly because of the twist. Onto what I actually made with it. So I said before that I wanted to make a cushion because I didn't have a lot of yarn, so I was just going to do the front side of cushion. But as I was doing a swatch, I realized that it was going to be a pretty small cushion. My friend who was here, she said, you should make a pineapple because it's yellow and it's from Hawaii. And so I was like, I don't know. Because I didn't want to make something that would just sit on the shelf. But then I realized, I could just make a pineapple cushion. So I made a pineapple-shaped bit, and it's rounded at the corners for the top and the bottom of the pineapple. And originally it was just going to be rounded at the corners and then perfectly straight on the edges, so just like a cylinder. Not a cylinder. Cylinders are
A rectangle?
a rectangle. Yeah.
With rounded corners?
Yeah. A cylinder is 3D.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then Sam pointed out, because he's now said that he's an expert in pineapples because he ate lots of pineapples in Hawaii. He said that they're more barrel shaped. So I did a one increase, like about a third of the way in, and then decreased it another third of the way in.
That looks nice.
So
it definitely looks pineapple shaped.
Yeah, and so I did a moss stitch, which is just single crochets basically, and then slip stitched around the edge so it's even, and then I'll have to buy some green yarn to do the pineapple top, and then it'll just be a flat pineapple, and then I'll hand stitch the fabric to make the pillow. The pillow will be pineapple shaped behind it, and then stitch it onto the fabric.
And that'll include the green part, or no?
Yeah, so the green, like the pillow itself is going to be pineapple shaped, and then like my crocheted bit will get stitched onto the front side of the pillow. So I'll have a pineapple shaped cushion throw thingy, and it's not
that'll be really
that
cute
big. It's
done.
like maybe 15 inches tall without the leafy bits. So it'll be pretty tall. It'll be a long skinny pillow. It'll be tall. That I've got done, and I haven't decided what to buy for the green yarn yet. But I think I judged it pretty well because I have maybe a meter of yarn left at the bottom.
Good job.
Yeah. And that was just sort of all guesswork. So the other thing that I started, it was the thing that I actually brought this with me to Hawaii, but I just didn't work on it because I hadn't.
Was it just too hot and sticky?
No,
or
I just
didn't
feel like doing any crocheting, and I hadn't started it, so I didn't really. I feel like it's more effort to start something, and I just couldn't be bothered while I was on vacation. I wanted to use the Billum yarn that I bought at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So this is a silk and baby camel mix.
Ooh.
It's hand dyed. It's like a dark purpley plum. I know I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
But it's multiple times,
so
I'm sure. But it's just so soft. And I'm sure I just bought it. Well, partially because it was soft, and it was just like, ooh, baby camel, that's different. Yeah, oh my god, it's just so soft. I feel like I'm probably making it go all funny on the outside of the ball.
So what are you making with that?
So I'm just gonna make a scarf because it's so soft. I want it to go around my neck and around my face. So I'm just doing a swatch right now. I've only got the one skein, so I'm probably gonna.
Is that fingering weight?
Yeah. Can I do a scarf?
Oh.
Will I have enough? A short scarf?
I don't know. Maybe not like a long wrap it around your head 10 times.
But yeah, but I'll see. So I'm just gonna do a swatch to figure out maybe like how long I can make it. And then I'll pull out the swatch because I think I'll need it because I like longer scarves anyway. Like the longer it can be, the better.
Well, try using bigger hooks.
So I'm using.
It'll be.
What am I using? I'm using a 4mm. It's not tiny.
Because a 3mm is size 2 knitting needles, and that's 4mm. I guess it is bigger. Because if you use like a fat one, it'll just make it like lacier, maybe.
Yeah, but I didn't want it to be super lacy. So what I'm doing a Tunisian.
Oh.
So I don't know if that uses more or less yarn. I feel like it uses less because it feels like the fabric is thinner when you do.
I don't know. I mean, the fabric is thicker than knitting. Definitely use a lot more yarn doing the Tunisian crochet versus knitting the same size piece.
I was like browsing different Tunisian stitches because I don't know. I just decided I wanted to do Tunisian crochet
because you want to be fancy.
And I don't know. I wanted something different, and I was just gonna do one stitch, so it's gonna be really plain. So I went back and forth over like which stitch I wanted to do. I settled on the honeycomb stitch.
Which one is that one?
It looks like a honeycomb. I don't know if you can see. It's probably too dark right now, but I'll put a picture. And I'll maybe work up a little
Can't
more
even
so you
see
can
it.
actually see. It just alternates between doing the Tunisian simple and the Tunisian pearl, and then it creates this like honeycomb effect on the top of the fabric.
Oh, okay.
So the front's a honeycomb.
Almost like woven a little bit.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I see. Wait, hold that back up. Oh yeah, I see that. That's pretty. I like it.
Yeah, so I am working on swatching that just now to see if I actually have enough yarn to do that.
Nice.
If I don't, I have some extra cotton yarn that I could maybe like color, but no.
No.
Screw the rules!
No, if you wanted another yarn to go with it, I would use a nice yarn, not cotton.
Yeah, but that's just what I have. Yeah. I'm very good. I don't buy yarn very much.
Well, aren't you going to see your dad next month?
Maybe.
I can always send some yarn your way through him. Yeah.
Anyway, so those are
your two whips?
2 whips, yeah. Pretty simple.
I have 2 whips. First one is the Maxfield cardigan that we talked about last time. And I haven't gone very far with it. But I know we were talking about the stitch count, the cast on count not matching the pattern. I did contact the designer, but I haven't heard from her yet. When I was doing the notes, I did realize that I kept saying 8 inches, but I meant 8 stitches. So hopefully that didn't confuse people too much, because 8 inches is a lot.
Yeah, when I was editing the video part, I noticed that as well. But I figured people would get it.
Yeah, so it looks good. I'm liking the way it looks.
Nice.
I did go with the smaller size sleeve, and I just have to increase it have a couple more increased rows than the pattern suggests, because I want the armhole, the top of the armhole, to match the top of the sleeve. So yeah, but it's going slowly but surely.
Are you up to the elbow yet, or no, not yet?
Yeah, I'm past the elbow.
Oh,
see,
nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I haven't had a whole lot of time to work on it because it really hasn't been that long since we last recorded. I have 2 other whips. I'm going on a trip later on this month, and I'm going to be on an airplane for
a long time.
A very long time, close to 20 hours. At first, I was going to bring my sweater. I was thinking of bringing the sweater, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, it's kind of bulky. I mean, it's sport weight, but still, I'm only going to have a carry-on for 10 days worth of clothes.
Wait, really?
So, yes, really.
Why aren't you bringing a bigger bag?
I don't know, because I'm stupid. Well, there's going to be a washer there. We're staying at an Airbnb where there's going to be a washer.
Surely, like, you get a carry-on a check-in.
I do. Well, yes. I will actually technically have a check-in going out. And there's going to be perishables in there. And your grandmother wants me to bring toilet paper. But I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But anyway, so I decided to do an experiment with some fingering weight yarn that I have left over from other things. So the Isabel shawl that I talked about a few episodes ago.
Sure.
The one of the ones that I was
fantasy knitting.
Fantasy knitting, yes. It has the short row little blobs. So I'm gonna, so anyway, I'm going to do that. I have a gray yarn, hand dyed fingering weight that I'm mixing with it. So, but I'm doing it on a bias, and it's going to be an infinity scarf.
So, right. So when you say experimenting, you're just recreating the look of that shawl with the blips.
Just the blips, not really the look of the shawl, but just the look of the blips. So yeah, it's coming along swimmingly, except as I was knitting on it, and I wrote notes and everything, so I could make it into a pattern if I wanted. I realized there's no way I can work on this for a long time because it's going to get really boring. It's just a lot of garter stitch, and then the short rows, the colored part is just 4 rows with the little short rows in between. So I don't think it's going to keep my attention for a very long time. I think I'll just get bored of it.
Yeah.
So what do you think I did?
You started another project.
Yes, I went shopping for another pattern, and I found this pattern called Winterly, and it's never been on my radar. I've never seen it before. It's by Suvi Samola, and this was put out December 2016, so I guess it's not that old. In Lane magazine. It's 2 colors, color block, where the yoke is one color, and then from like the boob down is a different color. So in the pattern, it's like a blue and a cream.
Very
and so
wintery.
In the yoke part, it is. In the yoke part, she calls it garter stripes, I think. And it's just instead of garter stitch where because you're knitting in the round. So when you're knitting in the round, instead of knitting every row like you would if you were knitting flat, you're knitting one row and purling one row. Right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of doing that, you're knitting 3 rows and then purling 1 row.
Yeah.
And
this
then,
bit of knitting, I actually understand.
And then the bottom part, there's some patterning and lace work on just 1/2 of the body
of the torso. Yeah.
Of the torso, in the back and the front too.
Okay, yeah. So it like carries.
Yeah, it carries to the back
around, but just to like
but
right
just
down
half.
the middle,
like
between your boobs,
right down the
middle.
Changes. And between your boobs, like where your belly button is, going down your belly button. So I have.
It's really pretty. I really like it.
This is
and
for
after
me.
you make yours, I want someday make me one, please.
You could probably handle this.
Are you kidding me?
Not the lace bits.
You say that, and the last time I knit was like in middle school.
High school?
I don't even know.
No, it was high school.
You say so.
It was a scarf for Gina that I finished for you. You didn't meet her until high school. Remember?
Yes. Okay, you're right.
I remember. I have this medium bluish color that I used in my Busta beanie. It's the same yarn. In fact, the gray is also the same yarn. It's a Webb's Valley Yarns, Charlemont. So it's got merino and merino silk and nylon, I think. So that's one of my favorite yarns, fingering weight yarns to make sweaters. So I'm having.
But I really like the original colors of the pattern.
I do too, except I do have some cream. I didn't really like it with this blue. It's not.
It's a bit brighter than the picture. I feel like the pictured sweater. It's very like
more muted too. I did put it together, and the gray definitely looked better than the cream that I have. And the cream is from. I guess it doesn't. The cream is from. When I was knitting your sweater, I gave you 2 choices. One was alpaca. The other had a little cashmere in it, I think. It was one of those undyed yarns that I got in Knit Picks. So it definitely looked better with the gray. So I'm sticking with the gray. So I'll have lots of gray sweaters when I'm done with this. I just realized both sweaters that I'm making are essentially gray and blue.
That's what but you wear a lot of gray and blue anyway. So you might as well make stuff in the colors you'll actually wear, so you actually wear them.
Yeah, that would be smart. Good idea, sweetie.
I mean, you're already doing it, so.
Okay. Do you have any FOs?
I don't. Remember, I haven't been doing anything.
Oh, that's right. I do not have an FO.
Yeah.
But I have something happen to one of my FOs that I haven't talked to you about yet.
Oh, something happened to one of my FOs, kind of. It didn't happen. I don't know what you mean by happened, but
the Busta beanie right here, this one.
With the right.
I haven't blocked it yet, but after we last recorded, I had that in the pom pom on my counter where I do the recording, and then a couple days later, I wake up in the morning and I found this.
Oh my gosh! It's yarn all over the stairs.
Yes.
Madeline, I remember Madeline sent me a Snapchat of one of the cats on the stairs with all that stuff on it. I was like, what is that? Your pom-pom?
My pom-pom, my fluffy pom-pom was reduced to this scraggly thing.
Destroyed.
Like, oh no. And I panicked. I knew I left the hat in my sewing room.
And they're not supposed to go in there.
They're not supposed to be in my sewing room. I keep it closed when I'm not in it. When I am in it, sometimes I do open the door for some ventilation.
Uh-huh.
But when I'm in here, they're usually too scared to come in. I usually go, and they just go, like, if they show their head, their faces, at the door, they'll peek at me, and then, I'll say no, or I say go away, and they do go away. But I'm sure if I left the room open, the door open, and I wasn't here, they would just come in here and make a mess. So I was like, oh my God. I ran upstairs, like, it was fine. I must have taken the pom-pom downstairs with me for some reason and just left it somewhere, and they got to it.
Or maybe Willet went in and just happened to see the pom-pom first and just made a beeline towards it.
But my door was closed that morning.
So you went back in. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes he hides things.
He does. Well, just this morning, I had the door open. I was sewing, and then I went downstairs to go to the bathroom, and I didn't close the door all the way when I left, because I'm only going to be gone for like a minute. So I come back in, and there's Sushi with a ball of yarn in her mouth, and she's looking at me like, oh no! I'm chasing her, like, no, you can't have my yarn. I don't even know where she got the yarn from. So I got the yarn from her, and I put it away. Like, get out of here! Like, and then as I sat down to sew again, I hear like a little rustling sound by the door, and I look over, and she's just like, ooh, she stopped in her track, and she just backed out. I was like, okay, I got it. I guess I have to close the door. Yeah, little stinkers. But I'm not going to make a beanie because I'm actually using this yarn for this sweater. I don't want to waste any more yarn.
Wait, what?
The leftovers.
You're not going to make a pom-pom, you mean?
Yeah, what did I say?
Beanie. I was like, you already made the beanie.
I made the beanie. I'm not going to remake the pom-pom for this beanie. Beanie hat, because I'm actually using this yarn
for your. So that's the same exact yarn that you're using for the sweater?
Well, I mean, after I'm done with the yoke, if I have enough, then I'll make some, because I have plenty of the navy and the gray. Navy and gray. So when I'm done with the yoke, if I have enough for a pom-pom.
I see.
Because the pom-pom had all three colors. So that was my FO that exploded.
Yeah, but okay. I thought you were gonna say like that something happened to like an actual FO, not just the pom pom.
No, though those socks that we talked about last episode, the Helix socks that you left at home for me to repair. Yeah, they got to that one.
Oh, did you already mention
the hole? No, I didn't. The hole is now even bigger than it was. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to repair it.
Dumb babies.
Like, oops. It's not like you don't have the socks.
Yeah, that's true. My FO thingy was a good thing. The girl boss bag that I made, I gave it to Rachel for her birthday, like more than a month in advance of her birthday, because I didn't want, because it was done and she was here, so I made her bring it back home with her. It was wrapped and everything, because then I didn't have to pay for shipping.
Yeah, you learn from the best.
But it was funny because after I gave it to her, and then I gave her the card. Actually, I gave her the actual bag first, and then a few hours later I gave her the card, and she looks at the card, she looks at me, she's like, "Are you just trying to save on shipping?" Yeah, so she opened it the other day, and obviously she loved it, and yeah, I don't know, I did tell her that I almost didn't give it to her because I liked it so much.
You can make it again.
I know, but it was just so good. And I don't know.
Come on, I've made this year alone. I've made three of those Piri Flores hats.
Yeah,
3.
But so,
is that right?
But like the lining too, like the particular. You made, I don't know, 2, 3.
I made 2.
Anyway.
I made 2, but I'm about to make another one, so it'll be 3.
The lining of the bag, I really like the fabric that I chose.
Uh-huh.
The inside fabric was really cute with like the little cosmetics and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But Sam's mom, my mother-in-law, she looked at it too, and she sent me a message to say that she was very impressed and that my hand stitching was very neat and regular. And she also offered that the next time they drive up, that I can have her old sewing machine.
Oh, really? She has more than one?
Yeah, her new one that is new. I don't know, newer.
Was that the one that the newer one was the one that she was using last year then?
Maybe. I don't know. She says it works, so, But I don't know when the next time they're going to drive up is going to be, so. Yeah.
Yeah, old machine is better than no machine.
Yeah, exactly. Or hand sewing.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that much hand sewing.
No, it didn't take too long either. Just a few episodes of whatever I was watching. Oh, but I did forget to mention with the Big Island Fibers woman, she had mentioned some of the other cool, interesting fibers that she spins with. One of them was rosebush fiber, which I had to Google it because when I was at the shop and there was a ball which used rosebush fiber, and I was trying to look it up.
Nice?
I don't think so. I think it just uses like the materials from like the actual stems somehow. Maybe the same way they do bamboo. But I didn't really understand. I was like, because it was all a handwritten tag. I'm like, rosebush fiber, and I was really confused. And now if I was back again, I might have bought it just because like that's interesting, so cool. Yeah. And the other ones she mentioned were milk fiber and sea cell, which is seaweed fiber. So yeah, some interesting things.
That's cool. I still don't understand how they make fiber out of milk.
I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of chemical process to create proteins that form solid fibers. I don't know. Because I'm sure, even if you think of bamboo, you can't just chop a bamboo into yarn. Like, it has to go through some sort of chemical process to break down.
If you cut bamboo, it's like fibrous
on the inside.
Bamboo.
But I'm sure they don't just spin that. I'm sure they have to do something to that.
Yeah, you're probably right. I suppose we could probably Google that.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Okay.
Did you have any yarny adventures?
Nope, just not at all, because it hasn't been that long since
we last recorded.
Yeah, we're trying to get back on track
to our usual
regular schedule.
Twice a month. Is that bi-monthly, or is bi-monthly every 2 months?
That's bi-monthly.
Twice a month is bi-monthly?
Isn't it?
I don't know.
Every 2 months will be, I don't know.
A fortmonth.
A fortmonth?
I don't know. Anyway, but for this week's Mommypedia, I actually don't have a question for you, but I have a question for you, our viewers.
And listeners.
And listeners, yeah. Well, even our viewers can't view me, as I made a weird gesture to point to the imaginary viewer listeners.
Yeah.
So I was planning on making Emily, my sister, her Christmas present. I was going to make a bag. It's in one of Mola Mills' book, Crochettery, and it's a bike bag, and it's made from like nylon yarn, nylon thread, and then you put like leather straps on it so you can hook it over the handlebars and it goes in front. It's really cute, but I cannot find yarn to make it with.
Why can't you just use acrylic?
Well, because it's like the nylon stuff, and it's that like durable and hard. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't acrylic durable and hard?
Do you mean like acrylic, like just normal acrylic yarn, like what I'm making my blanket out of? Yeah, no, not like it wouldn't soak up water, the nylon thread, right?
Is this something you're crocheting?
Yeah.
Do you actually have a pattern that I can look at?
Yeah, I can't show. It's on my computer because I scanned it I borrowed the book from the library, and that's.
So it's not on Ravelry?
No, it's in a book, But it's so
Just
basically.
because it's in a book doesn't mean it's not on Ravelry.
I already looked. It's not on Ravelry.
Oh, okay.
It uses La Espiga yarn, which is Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't specify what size, what weight it uses, but I think it's the number 6 because the recommended hook size matches the hook size of the project. It's like a 2.5 millimeter, I think.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty skinny.
Yeah. I can buy it from a seller in Spain, but the shipping, it's not that expensive, but the shipping is crazy expensive. And I don't think shipping...
What about the shipping to the U.S.?
To the U.S.?
Uh-huh.
It'd probably be more. Because, within
From
the...
Mexico?
No. The seller, the yarn is Mexican. That shop is Spanish. From Spain.
Would we be able to get it here? What's it called again?
La Espiga. Espiga. I think the brand is called Omega or Hilo or both. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, the hook size is a 2.5 millimeter. I could find other nylon threads, nylon yarns in a size 18, which is a lot fatter, and a size 2, which seems more like actual thread, but I couldn't find it in that like number 6 size or whatever, other than that one seller in Spain, which was Las Tijeras Mágicas, which I think, does that mean the magic scissors? Maybe?
I don't know. I never took Spanish.
I don't know, but the shipping is something like $13.50, and there's only one shipping option.
There's a seller on Etsy that's selling it, and she's in the U.S.
Is it the right number? Is it number 6?
There's one of them that has the number 6 on it. More than one.
Oh, well, I wasn't looking at shipping to America. No, that's number 9?
Well, it says 6 on the thing. Was that the color number?
Colorway. Anyway, this wasn't supposed to be a Google fest. This is just me asking if any of our listeners have, particularly the UK or European listeners, know of anywhere to buy nylon yarn, specifically number... What did I say?
6.
6. Yeah, number 6 nylon yarn. And I don't know. I think that's a universal thing for yarns, for the nylon yarns. I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
That just seemed to be.
You can definitely find
finding.
it in the U.S. And if you want, I can send it along with your father when he goes to Europe.
Okay.
Next month.
Yeah, but then I'd have to knit it, or not knit it. Blah blah blah. I'd have to crochet it. To be able to send it in time for Christmas, because I feel like to send things from here to there for Christmas, I'd have to get it done pretty.
You don't have
early-ish.
to send it for Christmas. You can just bring it with you when you go home in February.
But Christmas! I feel like now that I'm an adult and I don't get very many Christmas presents, I want to have the maximum Christmas impact presents. I want it spread out over a month.
Are you talking about the giving part or the receiving part?
But as someone who receives presents, I appreciate, now that I only get like 3 presents a year, that I can actually open 3 presents on Christmas. So, I'm sure Emily won't have very many presents to open, so I want to make sure I can send her her present so she can open it for Christmas. Oh, I say this, but it's probably gonna get there late or something. I don't know. So anyway, do you have a favorite thing for this episode?
I do have a favorite thing, and it doesn't really have anything to do with knitting, other than it gives me more time to knit. It's my slow cooker, crock pot. I love making stews in it, especially beef stews, because I don't have to watch the pot. I don't know how many times growing up my mother used to burn the beef stew all the time, and then it was like, oh, it tastes like burnt beef. So when you make the Chinese beef stew, when you make any kind of beef stew, you don't want the water to boil really, really hard. Mm-hmm. Because it toughens the meat. I don't know. There's a science behind it.
Yeah, you want your meat to be tender.
You want it to be tender. So you just want it like a simmer, a slow simmer. So that means you have to watch the pot if you're using your stove. If the, and everybody, and we've moved so many times, like every stove I've had is different. So like some stoves, it's okay. It has low heat. Other stoves, like the heat is, you can't get it low enough for it to be a slow simmer.
Right.
So I just pre-cook everything and then just throw it in my crock pot in the morning. By nighttime or by dinner time, I've got this nice beef stew. So I cook lots of things in it.
What other things do you cook in your slow cooker?
Well, different soups, chili. I make yogurt in it.
I know you do.
That's a newish thing. I guess I started doing that last year.
New for you.
New for me, yes. I listened to Dr. Gemma on the Cognitive podcast, and she was talking about yogurt making in her crock pot. And I Googled it. It's like, hey, it's actually a thing. So I started making yogurt in my crock pot because a bunch of us in our family are lactose intolerant, and we love yogurt.
Asian.
Yeah, we love yogurt, but we can't. It doesn't necessarily love us. So, so I've been using lactose-free milk to make our yogurt, and then then we can have as much yogurt as we want. I mean, there's still a little bit of lactose in it because the yogurt starter that I use is regular yogurt, and it's got there's not enough for it to give us too much pain. So I mean, I've actually had like a big giant smoothie and with the homemade yogurt, and it doesn't give me any problems.
I don't really like yogurt that much.
Oh, Madeline does. She loves yogurt, and your dad does too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't think he knows he's lactose intolerant.
He pretends he's not. And then we pay for it.
So my favorite thing is kind of a silly thing, but there's that website Love Crochet and Love Knitting. Mm-hmm. When you buy yarn, it comes in these drawstring bag things. What kind of fabric is this?
So it looks almost like a netting or a tulle.
Yeah, it's like, I guess, like a netting. It's a little shimmery. I just had this bag of these bags, and I used it to sort of wrap the Girl Boss bag that I gave to Rachel. I put the Girl Boss, I folded the bag and put it in this bag and then wrapped that, and that was nice. And right now I'm using the bag to hold all my yarn scraps, trimmings, to use as stuffing for other things. But yeah, that was it. I just like these bags.
You can reuse them.
Yeah. There's no reason not to. They're nice enough, sturdy enough to use for other things. I hadn't kept my little yarn scraps in the bag. I had it in a glass jar, but I've now put shells and sea glass.
You found sea glass in Hawaii?
No, we didn't. I didn't take anything with me from Hawaii, but I get lots of sea glass on the beaches here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've got this huge bowl from St. Andrews of sea glass. Sam and I spent like an hour just collecting sea glass on this tiny beach. I want to put that on display somehow, like hot glue it into a pattern in a frame or something. But no, I collected more sea glass from Crotch Island and more sea glass from Ely. I think it's called Ely in Fife. Yeah.
So what colors are they mostly?
Mostly white and green. Yeah, mostly white and green. I think people who actually collect sea glass, they could tell you. Blues are more rare, and I think you can even get purpley kind of colors, and those are like super duper rare.
Really?
When it comes to certain things, I can be a hoarder, but I'm also kind of anal about stuff. Like, I couldn't put everything into one collected jar because then I wouldn't know which glass came from where. So I'm like, I'm going to have to collect all these little jars. So right now,
label them.
Yeah, because this is my jar for Crotch Island, and I've got like bits of pottery. I've got like blue and white and little like shells and sea glass. Some of the sea glass has like patterns on it still.
Is that a jar originally from bamboo shoes?
Yeah. So yeah, that's Crotch Island is the one you can get a bus to Cremond, just west of here. I think it's still Edinburgh, technically. The island, it's only an island when the tide is high. And when
Oh,
it's low tide, you can walk to the
you
island.
can walk to it? Oh, cool.
Yeah, so there's a path to walk to the island. And there's nothing on the island anymore, but we did that earlier this year on a windy day. And then this weekend, we went to Fife, which is what's north of the Firth. Firth of Forth. Yeah. Whatever. So that's, that area. And we went to, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it was the East Nook Villages, spelled Neuk. And it's this set of coastal villages. And they're all quite quaint. And so we stopped by in Ely, and that's where I got some of this glass and shell and terracotta-y type thingy that's been worn down. And then there was also a lighthouse and a little ruin called Lady's Tower. It's just like a round bit. It's got no ceiling anymore. It's got the entrance door, but then you walk into the door and it's not very big. And there's these 3 really tall, pointed at the top windows, so it actually is quite airy, and it almost seems like something fake medieval, the way medieval buildings are portrayed in movies, but it's not actually that practical because they would never have had such big loft. Like, I feel like medieval castles, they got small little windows. But it was built in like the late 1700s, maybe, supposedly for lady something or the other who liked to swim naked in the sea. So that was her changing area, and then a servant would ring the bell to let the townspeople know that they couldn't, that she was,
they can go out because she'd be naked
because she was swimming. Suppose something like that's what I read, at least. I don't know if that's true. So we went to Ely, and then we went to Anstruther to get the ferry to the Isle of May. And it was the last day of the year that they were doing ferry trips because they closed during the winter, partially because that's when all the seals arrive and give birth to baby seals. So they were still there were lots of seals, and they were so cute. They were on the rocks, obviously, but they were in the water with their heads sticking out, watching us in the boat, and it was just, you could just personify them, give them these. They just seemed so curious, just looking at us. Ooh, what's that? What's that boat? What is that? What is that? And some of them kind of, I don't know if they followed the boat into the little inlet or if it was just different seals that were just checking out our boat. So we saw seals and some birds, and the island was just full of rabbits.
Really?
We
they don't have any predators there.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just so funny. You walked, and it's just rat. They're just scattering all over the place. So yeah, that was a pretty cool day. Sorry, that was really random.
No, that's okay.
We've reached the end of the show anyways. Endish. So to get back on track, did you want to do shop talk?
Yeah. I made a few Halloween themed bags. Halloween/fall themed bags.
You can do that now because it's October.
I know. Did you see the pictures?
I did. And you posted on Instagram. I just have to mention that you have the pumpkin bag. I feel like those were really popular last year, weren't they?
Yeah, I've already sold one.
Yeah.
This is the last one.
Or are you going to make any more?
I think I might have enough for one more, but I haven't used it yet. That would be the absolute last one. I've looked. I can't find that fabric anymore.
You should auction it off. It's so cute. It is a really, really cute bag. So it's got the pumpkins that are like a white, orange, and a red pumpkin, and it's got the little gold accents, and it's a really cute bag.
Thanks. Yeah, it is really cute, and it was very popular last year, and I did make 2 more. Right now, there's only 1 more in the shop. Ooh. After the season, I held on to the fabric last year, after last year's season. So
is pumpkin spice latte on its way down, do you think? Is it as big of a thing as it was?
Yeah, I was actually reading an article that pumpkin PSL is going to go away, and the new thing is salted caramel.
Yeah, but salted caramel, I don't know.
Salted.
I feel like pumpkin spice was so funny because
it doesn't taste like pumpkin.
What does that even? Yeah, what does that even mean? Does that mean pumpkin pie? Does that mean pumpkin? Does that mean cinnamon? What does pumpkin spice mean?
So the article, I don't remember where I found this article, but when I was reading it, it's saying that most pumpkin spice things is just, cinnamon and nutmeg and all the things that you put in pumpkin pie. And so you're tricking your brain into feeling that you're eating or drinking something pumpkin flavored, where there's no pumpkin in it at all. It's just the stuff, just like, apple pie stuff. It's just
I mean, I guess if it's called pumpkin spice, it's like no, I can't even justify that.
Because you can only get pumpkins in the fall.
Yeah, and only in America. I mean, not really, but that's something Daddy could bring.
A giant pumpkin?
No, a can of pumpkin. Is he gonna have check-in? He's not gonna have a check-in bag, is he?
Well, he will for you.
Pumpkin.
I told him he's already planning on bringing you some peanut butter.
See, then he's gonna have to get a check-in.
Yeah.
Because peanut butter is liquid. We already discussed this. Not on the podcast, but anyway.
Yeah.
On that folly, pumpkiny, spicy, autumnal note, shall we say goodbye?
Yes, we should. We've been rambling on for a while now.
Right. This is a knitting and crochet podcast. Sam always jokes that this isn't really a knitting and crochet podcast. He's like, you don't even talk about knitting and crochet.
It's about life and knitting and crochet, where, life and where knitting and crochet fits into our life. That sounds good.
You can find the show notes for this show at our website, kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. You should definitely follow us on Instagram. We are KCACY Podcast. If you're listening to us on iTunes or whatever else audio-wise, you should subscribe to us. If you're watching us on YouTube, you should subscribe to us. And you should also join our Ravelry group at Keep Calm and Carry On Podcast. Come on by, say hi, tell us what Jane Austen hero is your soulmate.
Which crotch you picked?
Yeah, which crotch did you pick? We need to know. Imagine taking that into context. So, thank you for listening.
And remember to keep calm and carry on.